Welcome again, Scorpio. I'm Dodici from astrology.com.au. For those of you that are new, welcome. I'm trying something a little different this month for August 2017. And the reason being, as you can see, and I've even written the date and the time down here, August 21st. The reason being this extraordinarily powerful full, what we call a total eclipse, taking place in the upper part of your horoscope. This is the most powerful angle of the zodiac, of a horoscope, when we're looking at a horoscope to understand what the hell is going on. Along with this first house, less so the fourth house, and this seventh house. These four angles of your horoscope, or what we call the foreground, represent some dynamic energy, and the 10th house is your profession. So this month, if you take a look at what's going on here, a total solar eclipse in the company of the North Node, or your karmic planet, and your co-ruler Mars, all up here in the 10th house, we can easily forecast a phenomenal event, an extraordinarily important astrological event, which is going to really make some big changes for you in your life, especially in your profession. Now, for some of you that have been tuning in to me, you will be aware that I've been talking about, the troubles you've had here with Saturn in your second house of income, right? The abrupt nature of the influences of Uranus here in your sixth house, of workplace activities, co-workers, the people you've been working with. Now, the transit of the North Node, the karmic planet in your 10th house for some months. These ones down here have been operating for some years. So we see that this is not something that has just happened overnight. These are the adjustments you've been trying to make. But right now, this month itself, this massive release of energy from the total solar eclipse in Leo in your 10th house is an event that is going to change the course of your, not just your profession, but your destiny. It definitely is. Now, all the eclipses occur on the nodal axis. That's this thing here, what we call the North Node, directly opposite the South Node. You see these 2 points are shadowy points where the moon cuts the ecliptic in its northern cycle, and down here its southern cycle. So these are imaginary points, but points of intense power, and probably because the ancients saw that these eclipses always occur when either the sun and the moon are together or opposite, that is at a new moon, which is what's going to happen here in the solar eclipse, or in a full moon. Let's just rewind a little, because here, pardon me, in fact on August 8th, preceding this very significant solar eclipse, we see the lunar eclipse taking place here in the fourth house. So your work, your profession, your destiny, what it is you're here to do, your purpose in life is going to be significantly impacted upon by this eclipse. And here we see that prior to that, there's going to be some adjustments, a recalibration of your domestic circumstances also associated with it. It's interesting, don't you find that your domestic sphere is opposite your work sphere? How many times have I heard it, I just don't have enough time for my family, for myself. This fourth house is your inner self, your state of mind, the level of peace that you can achieve. And having this lunar eclipse take place here, that's the full moon opposite the nodal point, brings a shining light, an emotional light into this area. Moon rules your 9th house, which is also spiritual and past karmic house. So the moon has a strong significance there. This eclipse will have a lot to do with your mother. So those of you that have not been able to resolve some of these issues, and strangely this one here, the solar eclipse, has to do with your father. In Western astrology, 4th house is the mother, 10th house is the father. So I think it's quite pertinent or significant. Number one, to see that the lunar eclipse takes place with directional strength in this 4th house, which is your family, place of the mother. The moon naturally rules the mother. And the sun here, the solar eclipse taking place in the 10th house, which naturally rules the father and the sector of the father. So the maternal and paternal connectivity here is strong. The way you relate to these archetypes, if not the actual people in your life, is going to come out very, very strongly in this month and through these eclipses. Now, mind you, it's not going to happen overnight. It reminds me of a TV commercial I once heard of. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. I forget what the ad was anyhow, I digress. It won't happen immediately. That is the anomaly of these eclipses. They may be powerful physical events that you see there happening. And of course, this solar eclipse, the first total one visible in the US, I think for 38 years. The events are not normally, the event is seen, but the effects are not felt, sometimes for months later. But this one is going to have a long-lasting impact globally, but for you, Scorpio, particularly, the 10th house of the horoscope shows the major impact it's going to have on you and the lasting effect. The nice thing about this, you're probably scared shitless, excuse the French. Don't be. You see these triangular aspects here. This is from Uranus. These are the two planets that have been causing problems. This immediately brings to mind that old saying, that by which a man falls, a man rises. That also refers to you, women. That by which a woman falls, a woman rises too. So the triangular aspect here shows these obstructive points in your horoscope and in your life over the last few years. And now working positively. This eclipse is going to work positively with these obstructive points in your horoscope. The triangular aspects are positive. So the shaking up of this energy, the immense electromagnetic energy, the dynamic nature of this celestial event should shake you up in a way where the changes that are going to come firstly have to be accepted. You can't resist these changes anymore. You know in your heart of hearts that the changes that you have to make, as hard as they are going to be for your ultimate good. The more you resist that, the more struggle you're going to have, the more you're going to get stuck. So that's the important lesson of this month, this transit. Notice also Jupiter in the favourable sextile aspect. Here we see also the favourable aspect here to this 9th cusp, or this MC here at 0 degrees. These are all positive aspects, all augmenting here, a sextile aspect from Saturn to Jupiter, carrying across that energy again. Jupiter's very friendly to you. So don't be scared of this. Don't also be scared that you're not going to see the results of this on day one. The retrograde Mercury here in your 11th house of fulfillment will be retrograde for the rest of the month, visualizing this 10th house. It's waiting for the effects of this to give you the profitability. It's all good. All good. I haven't talked much about your relationships, that'll come next month. I just wanted to focus on the focal point of this eclipse, which is your work, which is your life purpose. And I hope that's helped a little. Join me at astrology.com.au for the written detailed analysis of the month, the day, the year. We've got all that stuff there for you. And of course, don't forget to join me here next month. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.